To Kofifi FM, it's where it simply all began. Amanda Black is her name, alongside Aries Sabenza. And this is what we are doing each and every day, keeping that hustle on. Good afternoon to all of you Kofifi landers out there. It has just went 10 minutes after 11, after the hour of 2 o'clock. And this is the KYC right here on 97.2 Kofifi FM. Nicole?
I was just about to say we haven't even started because time definitely flies when you're having fun. We just started and already it's 11. Can the time gods just be on our side on our time today?
Yeah.
How are you doing, Elias?
I'm all good. You know,
I see we coordinating today.
Yeah, I would say.
Black on black?
All black
Yeah,
on a
man.
Maybach. There we go. It's going to be a great show. It's going to be a fantastic time that we're about to have with you. Kofifi Landers, want to say thank you to Mom Rosemary. Conversations with Rosemary each and every Tuesday and Thursday. So I hope that you did enjoy and learn something from that. There's a commentary that was made, in the beginning of the show that she made about, I think it's a black woman or man, I stand to be corrected.
Yes, I heard
That
that.
made a comment against the colored folk. I was like, hey, are we still there, Mar, in this life?
2017.
Are we still there?
You know what's the sad thing? This is a topic for another day, but just to comment on what you said, it's really sad that we are literally still there. And I think as we grow older and people become younger, before us, before me basically, then it gets worse. So your generation, then it was the generation before you, now us, it just gets worse, the way of thinking. So that's definitely something, I think.
Yeah, Matata in the building. But nonetheless, it's a Thursday, and we're going to keep it Young Minds in Entrepreneurship. And when we say young minds, I just want to reiterate for someone who might be listening for the first time. When we talk about young minds, we are not talking about only young people. You can be 50 and have a young mind.
Yes.
A young mind is someone that is still open to learn, open, to challenge themselves, open to go out there and do something with their lives. But we're talking in the light and in the stream of entrepreneurship. But we're going to be a little two-folded today.
Yeah.
We're going to look at the side of a woman and the side of a man when it comes to leadership skills and strategies in business.
Yeah, which is interesting because I think you are very fair as a person. So even though you would be advocating for the opposition or like for women or for male, whichever side, I feel like you generally are fair. So it's always interesting to hear your point of view on things. And likewise, we would like to hear not the viewers. Eish, I am thinking big.
There we go. It is the viewers though. We are on YouTube.
Because we are streaming live. So I'm correct in saying that. And the listeners as well on 071-425-9577. Do you think, I think we can agree that men and women do lead differently.
Yes, they do.
So if you were to say that one is superior and the other inferior, which one would it be and why? Why would you, for example, say that women lead better than men or vice versa?
Yeah.
Please do get us on 071-425-9577. Alternatively, it is on Facebook at Kofifi FM and
I think there's something with sitting that side.
let me just do that again. Kofifi FM 97.2. That's Facebook. On Instagram, it is at Kofifi FM, and then of course on Twitterville, we are at Kofifi FM _972. Guys, English, please come back into the building and let me use you. Hey,
you tuned into the KYC en ons maak hom seer met veel
We're not gonna go. We're not gonna go hard on this thing. Nice to see alongside Ricky Rick Ungawa Kum Mikasa also in that vibe. Before that, we gave you a beautiful song by Kulichana, back to 2009. Konka. It's a beautiful track, man. You had an interview with him?
Yes, I did. One of my very first interviews that I did when I was at Varsity, because I was the head presenter of UJ Observer. So when I got to interview him, he's such a humble guy.
Yeah.
And I think more than anything, for an up and coming or an aspiring presenter to interview someone of his stature and see how humble he is, I'm like, I can do this. You know, I wasn't intimidated at all, and I love that about him. And he was like just giving us a show of note. So yeah, he's really a cool guy. Mr. Kulichana, Mutwako originator. Hey!
Beautiful stuff. 23 minutes after the hour of 2 o'clock, it is the KYC right here on 97.2 Kofifi FM. We're talking about the leadership differences, or skills, strategies between a woman and a man. Do we want to compare? No, but we want to learn.
Let's highlight rather, as opposed to compare.
Yes. Rather highlight in terms of the strength, in terms of the weakness, and learn from thereof.
Yes. I think that we lead differently. Can we agree that we do lead differently?
Sure, we do.
No two things are the same.
Yeah.
However, I wouldn't go as far as saying that women lead better than men, or men lead better than women.
All right.
Yes, I said that right. Yes, I wouldn't go that far in saying that, because I do believe that, we'll start from the core, from the root. Leadership itself, it embodies a lot of traits, and it's not gender based.
Okay.
Which doesn't put one above the other in terms of one being inferior and one being superior. So I do think that we lead differently. I do think as women we are very consequential beings. We look at a thing for what it is, and I think this is in general when decision making and everything. We look at something for what it is, and we make a decision for the now and for the later. Okay. Which I think is beneficial, because not a lot of people, not even a lot of women, but most women that are leaders think that way. Yeah. So I think that is our advantage if we want to say, okay, number one, woman, and then you go number two, guys.
Talk about not comparing.
Yeah, I'm just just to sort of some constructive or competitive comparisons.
Yeah. I suppose, when we enter into the business world and the corporate sectors, there'll always be a subtle sense of competition.
Definitely.
Between male and female.
Yeah.
It is said that the general scheme of things, that male are more dominant in those sectors.
Definitely.
I was looking at a little clip earlier on, and it suggests that when we tap into the American side of things, about 300,000 people, or it could be more than that, are employed by female-dominated companies, which creates a net worth of about 28 million a year. That is just for the people that are being paid. Yeah. Obviously, there's billions being made in those companies. But it was interesting a fact to know that 45, to be accurate, 45% of the sectors, then we're talking American now, 45% of the sectors there are actually female dominated.
Lovely.
And it is very, very much encouraging, when we look back to points where female was said to be housewoman.
Yes.
You go and deal with the children and the chores that are at home.
Yeah.
To being now in the space where men are deemed to be leaders or the forerunners in that space. Yeah. It's a great thing to see that. And like you said, leadership, it's not a gender-based thing, because we can learn these things, both female and male, because we both have minds. We can deal with these things,
I'm not a feminist by any means. I don't actually think I may be, but I don't think of myself in that way. But I'm just thinking about my reaction about when I heard you throwing those stats down now. I think coming from the do we say marginalization of women as we come from? Yes. Because we're only 50 years into feminism now. But if you think about where we come from as women, so to hear that so many women are in a very male structured realm.
But you see, even to call it that,
yes,
it actually explains something that has been dominated upon
Exactly.
people.
So given that, like as you said, now I'm scared to say it again, but yes, male-dominated space.
Yeah.
It's lovely it's refreshing to hear that women are owning this and that. And but for me, it should be normal. But I guess because of where we come from, it's one of those things where wow. And I hate how when we speak, particularly in South Africa, because I did political science, so I'm very familiarized with the positions of women in power in South Africa. So when they say there are 68 members of parliament, 13% of them are women. Why? We are all members. Why must you come and highlight? You see, and that's the problem I have generally, because I think that's also what forces me to look as if I'm a feminist. But anyway, I think with regards to how you're saying that men this is a male-dominated thing and the competition, I think men are naturally very protective of their daughters, their mothers, and their wives.
Yeah.
But the minute they sense that the competition, especially from another woman, that's when they lose their decency. And I think that's when things like sexual harassment and all those things come into play, because then they play dirty, because they know that Diana, I can't, like, let me play dirty so that I can sort of hit her like at a weak spot, basically.
Right, okay.
So that's when things become messy in the corporate sector with regards to leadership and male and female, I think.
I like the word that you use there, play. In a male's mind, or let me go back to when he was a boy.
Yeah.
In a boy's mind, we a lot of things we take as games. But listen to it seriously. Okay. A lot of things we take as games, and it's not that we are seeing it for a game, but because it has been breathed into our minds as games, we portray it as that way. As a young boy, you know, when you're growing up, there's always a competitive spirit between you as guys.
Yes.
You play soccer, it's a game. It's a competition. You play marbles, dish, you know, it's a game. There's competition in there.
Yeah.
You play whatever, you know, water gun, running around. It's a competition. You grow up and you find yourself having these goosebumps when you see a girl.
Okay.
They call it going into the game. You know, you score points.
Don't hate the player, hate the game.
You see, you score points.
Yes.
So it is a mentality that we grow up with as young men and becoming into adulthood and going into business. You go now you graduate, you become whatever it is. Even at school, you know, being the first in class, it's not that you are really wanting to be called the smart one, but it's a game in the back of our heads.
I must be like game you
But it's a game, you know, in the general scheme. It's a game in the back of our heads, because we want to be number one in class. You know, I want to be as the one who is leading the pack. You know, even in the circles of men, there's always that little shuffle that's going on where we want to play that game. We get into business and there is a whole lot of competition that is going on. For instance, in the media space that we are in as KMG, you know, we want to be competitive to other radio stations, competitive to other media houses as well. So for us, in a male space, in a male mentality, in a male mindset, it's a game to us. Let's score points. Men, when they make money, it's not really to make money, but it's who can make the most money.
Yeah.
It's a
power struggle.
It's a power struggle, a pride struggle, and all of those things. So it is, I think, in comparison, when we look at female and male leadership skills, for us, it is more of, you know, accomplishing.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, we find the relevance of it later on in life, that I'm not just making money, but I want to leave a legacy.
Yes.
But we start off in that regard, that I just want to make the you know, the scores. I just want to do this. I want to do.
Can we call it the pride of, or entitlement of accomplishment?
I suppose.
I just want to add on what you're saying before we go to a break.
Yes.
I think, or let me rather ask this: do you think that women lose the essence of, or the strength in leadership or business or decision making or whatever, because we try to emulate something like in the business, or because we did say that it is a male dominated thing, so we try to be better men than men, because we are in a men situation?
True that.
So we lose.
In when we talk about leadership, like we said, it is not female nor male.
Yeah.
But it is good to learn from each other.
Yes.
The major mistake that I suppose the other sex made is that we tend to want to become men.
Yes.
You know, we tend to want to become men. and then we lose that sensitivity that a woman also brings into business.
Yes, that's true.
And it's also important. There's something that Isabel dos Santos says, she's, I think, one of the wealthiest females in Africa.
Yeah.
But we'll speak about that when we come back on the other side.
Do we have to, though? Do we have to take a break? Because now I'm just trying to get all this in. But hey, please do stay tuned. This is the KYC only on Kofifi FM 97.2. Dial us up on 071-425-9577. Do you think that men or women lead better, and why?
All right. Let's pay some bills before we go there. Shalom, honorable saints. Apostle Eleanor Relander of Sunrise Apostolic and Prophetic Ministries International cordially invites you to come and partake of a global fire revival conference with Dr. Goodstuff du Toit, founder and senior pastor of the Loafdale International Ministry in Cape Town. Dr. Goodstuff du Toit is anointed by God to bring revival fire down where God heals the sick, revives our spirit, and takes us into the presence of God. Breakthrough where you need it most. Anything and everything will happen in these meetings. We are honored and blessed to be served by global revivalist Dr. Goodstuff du Toit. Come expecting and revive God's best for your life. The venue is at the Atrium Road, Merindale, Johannesburg South, opposite Johannesburg Correctional Services. Sorry for that. The date is on the 4th of August. The time 7 p.m. Saturday the 5th as well. And then the time on the Saturday will be 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. until 2 o'clock. Don't miss out. Come partake and participate in the heavenly happenings. Apostle Eleanor Relander. About a sundowner on a Sunday.
Easy.
Easy vibes.
Easy.
Easy vibes. His name is Kalo. Close My Eyes. Before that, we gave you a beautiful song by the couple, Speed of Sound. Man, oh man, oh man. Come to South Africa and enjoy yourself musically.
Munatsi. Very nice. Very good.
Nice. 15 minutes before the top of the hour, 3 o'clock. It is the KYC right here on 97.2 Kofifi FM. Welcome back. Welcome back. If you have just tuned in, we're talking about the different strengths, the different strategies of leadership when we touch into business between male and female. I was looking at Isabel De Santos, who is a billionaire, and we're talking about US dollars here.
Yeah.
She's from Angola. She is a daughter of the president.
Nice.
And I think we could relay her success towards that.
Uh-uh.
But no.
It is all her. Acknowledge her in the splendor.
There was a capital letter B there. But it takes hard work, and I've looked at her. It is not the first time, that I've just viewed her videos and looked at her life and how she has conducted herself.
Yeah.
I think, yes, you might have learned from Dad, being a president and looking at his strategies of doing things, but there's an element that resides inside of each and every woman, and she has taken that and made an opportunity out of it and created one of the best companies, not even the best, the most greatest companies ever, empires of that. Each and every woman, I think, has the ability inside of them to become whatever it is that they want to become. And we're looking at this from a business perspective. We always say as men, and I'm going to say this, we always say as men that women are weak leaders. That they and weakness is related to them being female.
Yes.
And it's a wrong perception.
Definitely.
It's such a wrong perception because leadership is learned. And when you talked about assertiveness, Monday, just touch back to that, that you learn being assertive because it's a behavior that is learned into the mind. You can teach yourself that kind of a behavior. But then there's something that we can't ignore about a woman. You guys are more emotional than us, or you become more emotional expressive than us as the male.
Definitely. And I think I love that you highlighted that.
Yes.
And not put it in another light because I was going to be defensive about it. But I hate to be like, I'm very biased because I'm a woman.
All right.
However, I want to be fair in saying that we definitely are.
Okay.
And I think that is to our disadvantage in this specific situation.
Yeah.
It's good to be in touch with your emotions, to know how you feel. And I think that ultimately determines how you sort of further in life. But that is to our disadvantage because it gets to a point where we are too in touch.
Okay.
And we lose it all the way where it affects... we don't see things rationally.
Okay.
Do you understand? And it's good to follow your heart. However, for the most part, especially in a corporate structure, you need to be rational. You need to be practical as well.
Yes.
So we definitely are.
What's that?
Extreme
Can I give the analogy that TD Jakes made? And I've said this to one of our colleagues, that when a man speaks, he speaks in line.
Yes.
Like in a direct form. When I say, I want a glass of water, I say, please give me a glass of water. From a female perspective, it's different. I'm going
I'm just thinking about how I would say it. I'm like, I'm so thirsty.
Yes.
And water would be so great. Instead of just saying, hey,
we have to go all the way around and come back.
Most definitely.
And then relay the point that we want to relay.
I agree.
And it sips into the business as well. Because I think at one degree you need to die a little bit on your emotions when you're in business, because you can't be fluctuating on your emotions. You need to be stern and understand that if things are not going well, I'm not going to walk down the hall shouting at everybody for no reason and coming back now I'm laughing.
Yeah.
You have to be balanced in that regard. And I'm going to say this with all sensitivity. I think men do it much more easier because we have learned to know how to hide our emotions or just suppress our emotions and not deal with it from that level. Not saying that men are not emotional.
Yeah.
We are very there are crybabies out there.
Yes.
There's a lot of men that are crybabies. So we deal with it differently.
Yes.
But it doesn't mean that the female side of things are much more lacking than men in terms of handling businesses. We look at people like Martha Stewart. We look at people like Oprah Winfrey. We look at Beyonce. We look at J.K. Rowling, who has done the
Harry Potter.
Yes, a
love
billionaire
her.
now,
Love
a billionaire. And I like her story because she was sitting one day at home and realizing that I have a typewriter that I have not used in years. It takes leadership to stand up and write the thing, to go out there and market this thing.
Yes.
It's a business mentality, you know?
Definitely. I love that you said, because now I'm a talker and everybody that knows me knows this about me. But it definitely is true when you say that guys, when they speak, it's direct. Most guys are assertive, and that is their power.
All right.
And when a guy speaks, I feel like he speaks when it's needed, and we just speak. Period. Whether it's needed or not, on Sprat. But if we speak about the question of being assertive and assertion, I think when it comes to the female, all of a sudden, when I am assertive, then it becomes I get associated with derogative terms.
All right.
I am a this and I'm a that, I'm that. Only because I know what I want. Or in most instances, hi, you don't need a man, you are a man. You know? And then I do understand and I agree that we do try to emulate, because the corporate structure is basically built on a man's back. Therefore, it is a man.
All right.
So I do think that we, like, as I said earlier, we do lose our just do it. Don't want to do it better than a man.
Okay.
Because a man has done it. So
Nice.
do it your way. Do it the way a woman would do it. But I think that even in that, we constantly feel like we have something to prove. But that again comes back to society, which is another story. But I do think that when the guy speaks, he speaks directly. And it brings down the communication skills with regards to leadership for male and female.
Right.
I think women try to build a family in their corporate structure, which does give a lot of positive traits and attributes like loyalty and respect. However, the fine line is that the superiority and the inferiority is blurred. Because now all of a sudden we're friends because we're going out after work together. Maria is my boss.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
So I think that's where we lose it as women. We often try to smother or overcompensate or whatever you want to call it as leaders, that most women do that because we come from a nurturing perspective. And guys, they are to the point, which is a disadvantage in a social setting, because then we would say guys are not in touch with their emotions, they're not sensitive. But in a corporate structure, I don't think that a lot of women now they do, but before, as we were coming away like from the whole marginalization, it was difficult to do that because we are just so, oh, my baby. And it's not necessary. Like, just say a thing for what it is, regardless of, we move away from the negative terms that is associated with being assertive. But just say, I want water. Don't be like, Kwetsa, I want some, you know, just be direct. And that's, I think, a problem we have is when we're not assertive in business particularly.
0714259577. There's messages that has come through and we're about to read them. We have 7 minutes? Can you believe it? From 11 minutes past to now 7 minutes
wait,
left.
Music, go fast.
All right, we're going to read those messages now and then go for a break and then come back on the other side.
All right, we have one comment that says, women, hi Kofifi, I think women lead better. The man, in inverted commas, the brackets, can't hold half of what the woman can.
Right.
And that's just the story, gents. That is, truth be told.
All right.
I agree.
All right.
In terms of the strength of a woman, it is unmeasurable. But just for argument's sake, can we just consider the fact that the high risk it is hiring, and it's wrong, it's unethical to say and to do even, or to think, but can you consider the risk of hiring a woman over a man? She gets sick, she's got kids, she has to leave work. She gets pregnant, she's away from work for 6 months. A guy has gone for a week. Do you understand the money that you lose? So I do think that I ask is Kragen. What do you think?
I am saying nothing. I am saying nothing. I think let's not, we can to a certain point try and put that as examples in terms of the woman would be much more in inverted commas again, a liability more than a man, in terms of hiring.
Yeah.
But in terms of leading that group of people that I'm going to hire you to do,
Yeah.
I think, yes, we have equal strength to do that. It's unequal because we think differently.
Yeah.
But it's equal when we have the same tools to work with.
Okay.
In that regard, yes.
That's fair. We have another one, and this is a special one. It says, "Hi, Uncle Elias. Please play my song, Skylar." And the song is... There we go, Skylar. This one's for you. Says, "Want to see rather Big Daddy." I love that song. Nice, Mama
Awesomeness,
Sia.
awesomeness. Thank you so very much. We have a couple of seconds to get out of here. People have started, just surrounding
And
us.
entering the place.
Wait, but nonetheless, thank you so very much, Kofifi, for staying and tuning in with us right here on the KYC 2 to 3 o'clock. your favorite radio station.
Yeah, man.
And I suppose we can't cap it and
No,
put a
you can't.
conclusion to it.
Can we put a continuation on
What do we
it?
call that again in English?
Omission. Ellipsis.
Yes.
Oh,
There we
English
go.
student
There we
is back. I hope I pronounced it right. I just want to say before we sort of close that women in their leadership skills I think is very collaborative, very democratic, and they come from an empowering approach.
All right.
So that is, I think, the style of leaders with regards to women.
Krebs, can I ask you a question?
Real quick.
Quickly?
0 from 100.
Between female and male, who do you think leads strongly? Male.
Yep.
Female and male? Boss lady?
Oh my. What's the question?
Between female and male, who leads strongly?
Male.
Male.
Yeah.
All right. They are here, the K Drive, and you will be with them between 3 and 6 o'clock. Kofifi FM 97.2. Nicole, thank you so much.
Dankie man, dankie. Ek
Have
sê
yourself.
dankie vir kos en klere, maar vir jou sê ek baie dankie.
We out.
Kofifi FM